Hey everyone, welcome back to the lecture. In the last lecture, we saw the dbutils command in the Databricks. Now, this is the one of the most important lecture in the section of the Databricks. So, in this lecture, we are going to see the DBFS, that is the Databricks File System. This is the file system that is provided by Databricks to you, and this is the root file system of the Databricks. Let's see what is the architecture of the Databricks to get an idea where actually this file system is and what exactly it is, right? So for accessing this, you can go to the Databricks documentation, and for that you can use this URL, the docs.databricks.com, and you will see all the documents for within the perspective of AWS. But it's almost similar for all other cloud vendors as well. So here I am going to the architecture page, and here if we see architecture, I will open this image in a separate window. I hope you are able to see this. Yeah. So you can see here users and applications. Okay, here all your Databricks applications and users, they can access the Databricks application, right? So there is a Databricks plane, and that is your Databricks account. So you can see here Databricks account, and in there is a control plane, and in control plane all things are available like your web application, then compute orchestrations, Unity catalog related things, queries, and your codes, notebooks. They all things are available there. Okay, this is for your traditional. Then there is a serverless compute plane as well. This is the new because Databricks now implemented a serverless compute plane also. In that, your computes are available for your serverless compute planes like Databricks warehousing and all. Apart from that, in your user account, your cloud account, you have classic compute planes where your clusters are created and destroyed. All VMs you can see there, as well as you can see there workspace storage or storage bucket or the blobs, right? And that is basically your Databricks file system or DBFS, where Databricks created your DBFS, and it is the default storage account that is created by the Databricks. Now, apart from that, you can connect your other resources, external resources like databases, other your storage accounts, etc., etc. Now, in our perspective, we are using Azure Databricks, right? So I will go to my Azure console. Just give me a second. Okay. Now I am in my Azure's homepage, right? So I will see my all resources. So I am going to my all resources on Azure, and you can see I have lots of resources deployed on the Azure, right? And here you can see the Databricks also. But here you can see one storage account is created, right? And this storage account is in manage RG. So at the time of creating Databricks workspace, I highlighted the point Databricks will create one manage group automatically, right? And that manage group, Databricks will deploy the resources that is needed or the that is supportive resource for the Databricks. So I will open that manage resource group, and you can see what are other supporting resources like this Unity catalog access connector, then some IPs, then this storage account. And this is the storage account where your DBFS file system is available in the Databricks, right? So you can see the like data overview and all other things are here, and here your data lies that you store in the Databricks DBFS file system. So now I am in my Databricks workspace, and you can see I am in my workspace users and my username. So let's create a notebook here. Okay, so this is our DBFS notebook, right? I am just naming it as a DBFS for now. And let's see how you can access that Databricks storage account that is provided by Databricks, right? Default Databricks account. So you can use the command %fs, that is the magic command, right? Then I'm going to use ls, that is for listing, and let's see what are all the directories and structure that is available in Databricks root storage. Okay, and I will run it. Oh yeah, I have to create a cluster, so I am going to create a sample cluster for me. I think it will take some time. Okay, now our cluster is up and running, and you can see our Databricks cluster is up and running with 14 and 4 virtual CPUs, 16 gigabytes of RAM. And now you can see this command is running. Okay, here now you can see When I done ls on the file system or the root directory of the Databricks, you can see there are lots of folders like this DBFS file store, then DBFS volume, DBFS Databricks dataset, etc. etc. These are all the root level directories that are created by Databricks and that we can use, right? Basically, dbfs.filestore we use to create and like some experimental files, and we are when we are doing some ad hoc analysis trying something, then we can store here, right? So let's see in details. So we have seen in the last lecture that there is one Databricks datasets as well, right? You can see here we can access this with the help of this DBFS notations as well. So you can use DBFS colon, then you have to provide root, and then you can provide Databricks datasets slash, right? But yeah, I have to provide the ls command to list all the directories, and I will run this. So you can see these are all the listed directories in the Databricks ls, right? At this location, Databricks datasets. In the same way, you can like check the other directories like file store, etc., etc. Those are the directories and volumes that are created by the Databricks, right? It stores the configuration files and some sample data sets for your practice. Now, the one most important thing, do we need this DBFS every time? No, there is no need. You can directly use the slash or the root directory. Here you can see I have used, right? So let's try it once again. %fs, then ls, then slash Databricks dash dataset slash, and I'm going to run this, and you can see it ran successfully. So you can access the Databricks datasets with the help of commands or like files, magic commands or DB utils from the notebooks. This is the one thing. Again, you can check like if I go in the root directory, or I can check the mounts as well, right? So let's check what are all the mount fs mounts. So here it will list all the mounts that are available with the Databricks. So you can see the root directory is a one mount, then this volumes, then Databricks datasets. All these are the different mounts that are available in the Databricks, and you can see their sources and etc. Everything are listed here, right? So this all data and this all things that you store here in file store or something, that will be available in your Azure storage. But this is not specifically allowed, or this is not recommended basically, to use the DBFS file system to store your data that you are going to use for your business or the project purpose. Because on this storage account that is created by Databricks by default, we don't have that much flexibility to handle it, to access it. So that's why it's recommended to create your own mount points, or in the new way Unity catalog and volumes, and you can access your data from that, right? So this is about the Databricks DBFS file system or the DBFS utility. Now, one more important thing some people are facing in this new UI of the Databricks workspace, they are not able to check like interact with the like DBFS in the UI, right? Previously, there was a data tab and you can access DBFS file system in the UI, right, with the file explorer. But now it's not there. So you can see in my catalog section, you are able to see like browse DBFS, and once I click on this browse DBFS, you can see the file store is listed there. If I click on the file store, I have the tables. Even I have option to create a folder, then upload here. So here you can see I will create a folder src, and now it is listed in my file store, right? So here you can copy the path. Also, if you click on this, if you go in the folder, you can like upload the file here, or like delete the file from here, and you can access your Databricks. Also, this is upload button is also there. And in the settings buttons, there are some more features that are provided, but this is not accessible for most of the people. So how you are going to enable that? So that's a good question. For that, you have to go to your like icon, file icon or user icon, then go in the settings. So this is the settings of our Databricks, and in the settings you need to go to the advanced. Then in the advanced, search for DBFS, that is the Databricks file system, DBFS file browser, and this like tab is off at your end, so you need to on this thing. And now Databricks file system will be available in your catalog menu, but still if it's not showing, then you need to refresh it, so your UI will be refreshed. And now after that you will be able to see your like all files in the DBFS file store, right? So this is the one way that some people are facing problem, and this is the Databricks DBFS file system that you can use for exploratory purpose. Apart from DBFS file system, there is one more file system in the Databricks, and let's see what is that file system. So for that you can use the magic command fs and then use file colon and root. And once you run this command, yeah, I need to provide the ls to list the directories here. So sorry for that. And now I will run this. And now you can see all the directories that are listed. You can see these are all the directories like temp, dev, bin, sbin, etc., home, etc. Basically, where are these directories are coming from and what are these directories? These are basically your driver nodes root folder or the driver machines root folder. So you can access like all the files that are available in traditional Linux system in your driver node. And they are here, and you can like you can use that system or to check the specific file in your driver node, etc., etc. So this is one more file system that is available with the Databricks, and with the Databricks notebook you can check the files in that as well. So this is the Databricks file system or the Databricks driver nodes file system. And I have also shown you the documentation for the Databricks. Or any issues or anything, like if you are facing some challenges, then you can come here to the docs.databricks.com and check the documentation of the Databricks specific things. And this is like all for this video. In the next video, mostly we will try to create a mount point to create external storage to attach with your Databricks workspace and use that, right? So we will see you in the next lecture. If you have any doubts or any comments, then feel free to ask in the comment section below. And like this video, share this video with most data enthusiasts, and make this channel good data engineering and data science channel. So I will see you in the next lecture. Till then, happy coding.